Alrighty, let's get the stream ski going. Progress update on a Scala draw. So like this whole little system right here where I send off like a feature planning and then do it. It commits and pushes, unit tests, end to end, back end deployment, front end deployment. Any errors that get caught inside of those get passed back into the coding agent, fixes them, does it again, does it again. This is kind of irrelevant right now, but so let's remove this for right now because it's not doing that right now. And then kind of like, it doesn't push to prod yet, but as far as the auto fix going and like the Agentic SaaS working for us under the hood, this commit was like the last one that I did manually. If you go look at the checks and then go to the one that failed, which was this one, 2 of them failed, right? So the playwright web failed. Let's go open that. And then the lint type check test failed with, whatever errors these are. I didn't even look at it, right? I didn't look at these errors. These errors as well. It passed that back in to the Claude coding agent under the hood, used our API token. This fix auto was not me. I didn't do this, even though it says it was me. That's just how I have the token working with the personal access token, so it shows as me and not some random. Yeah, what's up, Soham? So this commit right here, actually, so it ran the migration. It saw that we didn't run a migration before, and that's what all these errors were. It added the migration SQL and then committed it. And then during commit, part of the deployment pipeline is to run those migrations that are in there. And so it did it, self-healed the errors on its own, and now everything's green. And so I could just come in to the preview. Technically, I could merge this into stage right now, but I want to do 1 or 2 more things before I do that. And it's all working. So I love that the agentic part of the internal SaaS, as far as a business owner and the repository owner, this kind of setup right here is working, which is dope. So yesterday I did do the thumbnail for yesterday's, and I think today's too, is let me see if I can pull it up. The thumbnails for yesterday's video was this, right? Claude versus Codex. And I opened a new workspace for this feature. And so Claude's is here, and then Codex's is here, right? And I use the same feature planning doc, specs, AI credits. So this big long doc that I created for, it's almost 500 lines, is the exact same in both work trees. Not workspaces, work trees. Specs. Is that where it is? Yeah, docs, specs. I don't know why it's not showing up in here. Oh, because I'm on stage. Check out feature AI credits dash Claude. Yeah, it's right here. So on this work tree, on this branch, it has the same stuff as this one. I did do a little bit more after Claude finished because I like the Claude more. I like the Claude output. But let's go check out and see what those, like, the difference between the two. And I did do one or two more things off stream between the two, but let's go to localhost 3001. As far as like implementation goes, it was pretty similar. Okay, I'm gonna have to restart this. PNPM install, and then slap a PNPM dev on there when that's done. And so we'll see a couple cool fancy things get in there. But for a refresher, yesterday I was working on the AI credit system. So if and when a user excuse me, if and when a user of this boilerplate wants to offer AI features within their app and they don't want to force users to bring their own API keys, you can charge them. Obviously, the system that everyone uses is a credit system, right? So you can load their account with X amount of credits. For every AI operation, you can deduct those credits. And so those are connected to Stripe, connected to the user's subscription. And so now, if I refresh this, methinks should, well, do I not have this locally? Maybe I didn't have it locally? It seems weird to me because it's on this same branch. Unless I'm not logged in. Billing. Yeah, it must not be on this branch. It's weird. In this work tree, what messed up? Let me see. Because this is feature AI credits Claude. Am I crazy? Or is there something else running? Let's clear this, clear this. Clear this, clear this, clear, clear. And clear. Okay. We're on Launch Soku Claude, which is on Feature AI Credits Claude. That all looks right to me. We'll do a git pull. It's already up to date. PNPM install. And PNPM dev. I think this will be a huge feature for the users, or for like fail to load tier pricing, import schema, resolve tier credits is not a function. All right. I'm confused. Because I'm a little confused on that, actually. Let's go to Insights, see the traffic. No. Network. see where we are in the Git tree history. I know it shows it right here too, but this one's the head, so yeah. This one is the Codex AI credits. This one is the Claude. I'm just a little bit confused on why this was literally working last night and it's not now. Well, we can just pass this back into it. Not sure why this is doing this right now, to be honest, but it might be a database migration thing. Maybe. Let's see, whilst that is working, let's kill this, clear. Let's go into codexes. Should be up to date. Git pnpm dev, so I can show you at least the let's see if this is working. API, so that one's working, looks like. Yeah, so this is the implementation on Codex's side. So it shows, I went through the sign up flow, and it adds credits to their account, shows them the available amount, available per period, reserved, which I'll explain in a second, shows them when it renews and stuff like that, which is dope. I haven't tested what I'm doing today, but what I haven't tested yet is if the deduction system actually works on a function that we say uses AI. So today we're going to be going in and adding, yo, what up, Tolly? What today I'm going to be doing is going and adding in the credit system, the deduction system for the credits on a mock API endpoint or something like that, or maybe a mock feature within the app. So like maybe I'll go right here, add a new little tab and say AI credits, and have a button that's like small, medium, large operation, and then click a button, it'll complete the operation, whatever it is, and then come back in here and it should deduct these. The reserved is for when this amount is getting low, and they go attempt to perform an AI operation, and some of them get reserved so we don't go negative on here. We're not allowed to have negative values in here. It gives them a 403. It'll give them a 403 on the API or on the UI or whatever end user is trying to use AI credits that they don't have for small, medium, large operations. It'll give them a 403, and we'll notify them somehow. But yeah, so this was Codex's implementation. The UI was okay. but I'm going to actually go back and do, or and use, I'm going to go back in and use Claude's because I like it more. So yeah. Let's go back in here. Yes. Yes. But before we do that, I'm going to try and fix this error on the Claude side and run the Claude implementation locally, and I think y'all like this one more. And I did add one thing in there like after it finished. It was somewhat similar to this, but it was just better overall. Okay, so this is Codex. I'm gonna clear out of this, or exit out of this, and then start this dev server, pnpm dev, and go down to the API. Where to go? API. Okay. Make sure we get all of our fun stuff in there. Sweet. Yeah, so I like this one more. I did add this in there after the fact because I like for it to show here regardless of what page they're on. The second thing is Claude did add another tab down here for credits. So it was like profile, billing, API keys, and then credits was down there. And I just asked it to move it all into here. But this was like prettier. As far as UI goes, I think this is prettier. It's more succinct. It's not like all that extra stuff that you were seeing earlier. And then after the fact, I ask it to add the plans in here too. So it shows you which one you're on and then available to upgrade and stuff. And then for here, these are calculated client side, not server side. So it pulls the annual, it pulls the amounts server side, but then does all the calculations client side. So if we were to click on this, it would show the pro amount for the annual. So this says 66 a month. And I kind of emulated this off of 11 Labs. I don't know why I always default going to 11 Labs, but like I like how they do their UI. So here is like that credit balance that I was talking about. And then if we go to, where is it? It's not upgrade, is it? Yeah, if we just go to subscription, we just go to our, like, it's the same, they call it subscription, I'm calling it billing, right? Whatever. But we have this credits used. They do the same thing here, you know, calculating it client side most likely. And if you go to upgrade, so $18.33 a month billed annually. So if we go to upgrade, please don't do it immediately. Okay, yeah, so it changes to $234, which ours should do as well. And these aren't real, like these are real prices in the, yeah, so and it passes this in there too, which is sick. Which is exactly what I want. So yeah, so that's working. So today, what we're gonna do, we're not gonna work on the Codex. We're not gonna keep doing the Codex implementation. You know, it's side by side with the, because this one's like the Launch Soku Claude in the work tree, and this is Launch Soku Codex. In a perfect world, I would do every feature like in parallel, but I don't want to mess with the Git trees. I don't want to do all that. So I think we're just going to be working back in the main repo, or sorry, the main work tree. Because honestly, this introduced a lot of headaches doing this, which is kind of what I was saying before, like yesterday, like doing multiple features at once. I can't really keep track of all that. Maybe that's just maybe that's a skull issue for me. So what we're gonna do right now is get status, get status. Nothing to commit, working tree. Why is this stacked full of uncommitted changes? Are these get ignored? Oh, this is on Codex, right? I don't know, am I crazy? Oh, this is on Launch Soku. So this is on the main tree. This is on the main branch. So what are these changes? Well, technically I don't need them, I don't think. Because this is green here on this branch. And so I think I should be able to just remove all these. Because I want a clean working branch. Technically, this is a clean branch. Launch Soku Claude. So yeah, I'm gonna go here just in case. If usually when I don't know, I don't want to mess with this right now, so I'm just gonna git stash it. Git stash. Git status. Why aren't these changing? So what is this on? Is this is probably on weird. I don't know. I don't know why these are here. All right, anyways. We're gonna go back into Launch Soku Claude. And I really want to get rid of this, actually. What's in here? This is on Codex. Dash include untracked. Launch Soku Codex. All right. And I'm just going to click out of this. I'm going to cancel this real quick. Clear. Go back down to one window. Git checkout. Feature AI credits dash Claude. Git pull. Okay. Okay, so it's saying it's already on the work tree. Damn it. New window. Open recent. What's the benefit of working on work trees when, like, I mean, I know I guess it'd be more helpful if I was, and maybe this is the use case for those like coding, those like agentic coding platforms that people are making, like BridgeMind or whatever. If that's what theirs does, I could see the benefit. So if that's what like BridgeMind does, I don't know what BridgeMind does, to be honest, other than it's like a lot of terminals. But if it can create a new work tree per group or something like that, to where it's working in isolation, all in one window, one visual, I could see the benefit in that. Because I hate using this IDE and like having different work trees for every IDE. If I could just like, if I could have one, let's just say I have one IDE open or whatever, and I can open like a new terminal pane and select the work tree that I want that one in. Yeah, all of them work with work trees. The Claude app does this too. Okay. Like the Claude desktop app. Claude Code. So does it like spin up a new work tree every time you work on something new? But I wouldn't say it's a work tree. I would say it's a branch, right? When you start a new coding session in, yeah, when you start a new coding session or quandary in Codex, I think it just starts a new branch. Like it's not a new work tree. Select a folder, then you can select a work tree. Okay. Yeah, so this is just on Soku, but you still have to create the work trees yourself, right? So I think the benefit of like something like what Quigago made, and I should go pull that up actually, because it might. Does Quigago, does the thing that you built do that? Let me see. I'm actually curious now. Select a folder. What do you mean select a folder? Select V at work tree. I'm not tracking. Yours doesn't do that? Okay. It might be a good, like, it might be a cool feature to add in there. I don't have a vision for what it would look like. Well, actually I do. It would be like, let me go into yours real quick, because now my interest is piqued. New window. Let's go open recent and Clanker. Let me try to remember. I have live chat on. Maybe I missed the message. Hold on, let me go back and look. Okay. You said, yeah, all of them work with work trees. Claude app does too. Select a folder, then you can select a work tree. No new session, select folder, select V, add a work tree. Let me just go back in here real quick. New session, select folder, open folder, launch Soku. But I still don't see my work trees in here. Okay, work trees, launch Soku Codex. So now that chat or that session will work in Codex or whatever. Okay, I got you. But you still have to do this yourself, right? If I wanted to autonomously create, what's the benefit of that, right? What's the benefit, especially in something like, no, you just needed to select your project. Am I on crack cocaine? Then it prompts you to select a work tree. Oh, for real? Open. Oh, work tree. Main. Work tree. So I have a button, a on off to select a work tree. Or will this create its own, or what you're saying is it will create, wait, let me hover over it. Okay, work in an isolated copy of a work tree, so it will do it by itself. I see what you're saying. So if I start a session in here and ask it a question, do something for me, it will, because this is checked, it'll start its own work tree for me in isolation. Got it. Okay. Cool. Okay, cool. Do I have $50 cash for the boxing bag? Dude. Also, my partner just messaged me and she's like, do you have $50 cash for a boxing bag? What the hell is a boxing bag? It's called a punching bag, noob. And you can run like 10 of these without issues. So I like this. I think I like this. In here, in the Claude UI specifically. Because what you just said, you can run of 10 of these or whatever in isolation. Or what it's between what you said and what it says. Work in an isolated copy of the repo. And then just like, you know, merge whatever it does back in. So you could like A/B stuff. You could test. I'm thinking out loud. You could basically do what I did. Does Codex do that too? Because that would be a benefit, dude. Oh, I forgot. It creates a branch and all that too. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, I like that. I like that. I'm actually going to try this here in a second, probably. They all do that? Okay. See, I didn't know this because I've never really done too much in the desktop app. And no one talks about this either on like the YouTubes or anything, because most of these clowns don't actually know how to code. They don't actually know what Git is under the hood. Which, in their defense, and kind of flaming myself, I mean, I've been a developer at like large and small companies for the past 7 years, and I've never really worked on work trees. So shame on me. But yeah, Tolly turned me on to put me on to work trees yesterday. I haven't touched an idea in some time now. I used to work in the CLI, then moved to the app, and it works good. Yeah, so I'm actually, when all this is done, I'm gonna start working in the Claude apps more often, because I don't know if you were on stream earlier when I first started, but because of this kind of self-healing system that I have, and it's pretty rudimentary right now, so like, don't flame me just yet. And that's why I'm not going to start doing this yet. But, so we have a planning feature, which would be just like me asking a question in here, right? And then the coding agent goes in and writes the feature, unit test, end to end, blah, 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 blah. Commits and pushes to a staging branch or dev branch or some branch, opens the PR, runs the unit tests, and runs all of this in CI. Unit tests, end-to-end, back-end deployment, front-end deployment, all to testing, mind you, a dev environment. Catches the errors, loops back, does it again. So yesterday, I signed off for the day because it was working locally, and I pushed it to the feature branch, and then I just randomly opened a PR into stage yesterday. And so what that looked like was like right here, update UI system 2. I did this twice because it was like a little change, and I didn't want to change the commit message. Again, shame on me, but whatever. Anyways, this one failed. This run failed in CI. Lint, type check, and tests failed, and then playwright, like the end-to-end tests failed, and I didn't know about it. Right, I signed off for the day, and I was like, all right, I'm done here. But then after that, it came and created its own. This wasn't me. This fix auto was Claude doing this, like under the hood, and so it created its own fix. Ended up just being a database migration thing. So it added the migration SQL, ran it, and then pushed that feature, or pushed the commit, and then it all passed after that. So the benefit of this is being able to, the benefit of having all the different deployment cycles, so dev, stage, main, which everyone should be doing in my opinion, is being able to catch bugs before they hit a sensitive environment and then self-heal. So now we can potentially do it in here and like be really hands-off and get really, really close to one-shotting features. I say one shot. It could be one shot with Claude in the background doing this up to 3 times, right? What happens when I work? I start a session in a work tree, test it, and tell Claude to make a PR and watch the CI. If it fails, then it gets the fixes in, and I ask another Claude to merge. Okay, sorry. I got distracted by the Nightbot. I don't know what it's doing. What happens when I work? I start a session in a work tree, test it, and tell Claude to make a PR and watch the CI. If it fails, he gets mad. He gets it and fixes it, and then I ask another Claude to merge. Okay. Yeah, so basically the same thing, but I'm removing, or I say this removes a couple steps from that. So kind of same workflow, slightly more autonomous. And it's nothing crazy. Like it's just YAML files underneath. It's catching and triggering stuff. So anyways, the bad benefit, or sorry, the con, sorry, I need to, actually just forgot, I need to message her back and tell her yes. I guess the only caveat to starting new work trees is if your project is pretty big and you don't clean up the work trees, I think it could eat up a lot of memory. right? Because little old me, launch Soku, calculating size. If I go into work trees, it's like a new, you just ask Claude to clean it up. Okay. Yeah, because I feel like that would be important because it clones the whole repo, like everything. Which isn't necessarily a bad thing, but I think if you've got like a lot of assets or a lot of random stuff in there, it could get big. All right, so I want to come in here and then we'll just park that on there for now. See ya. Please don't show up in here. I swear to God. All right, so now I want to get checkout. Get checkout. Feature. AI credits Claude. Get Polsky. PNPM install. PNPM dev. I'm gonna do this. I think it's permission. Dangerously skip permissions. I'm gonna run this today and see what we get. You noob. Effort. Ultra. You can set it to not clone the whole thing too. Just use the main repo, but usually that's not a big deal. My project is pretty huge and I don't have issues with that. Oh, that's good to know. It's fantastic to know, actually. All right, so let's go in here. Wait, let's get rid of all of these. Jeez, like the same thing. Pull requests. Close this, and then do localhost 2001. Wait, why isn't this pulling up my changes? Feature AI credits Claude. Am I going crazy here? By the way, Iran launched. Sorry, I just said Iran, dude. By the way, Iran launched missiles today at us. Oh, meaning Israel. Trump asked us not to respond because he's close to making a deal, but that could be a misdirection and shit could go down at any moment here. That's insane, dude. That's insane. I wonder, what's today, Sunday? Today's Sunday. And futures markets are probably open. So that's gotta mean oil spiked. Only 2%. Not anything crazy, actually. I thought it would be more than that, to be honest. Only 2.5%. Yeah, not nothing huge. I thought it'd be like 5%, 6%. Like, not too much. Dude, I'm sorry to hear that though. Did the futures are 92 or almost 93. I'm sorry to hear that though, dude. Dude, did we not just fix this? This confuses me about the work trees. Because I just fixed this on the other branch, and I pulled the other branch in. It's already up to date. What? That's a wild thing to say that that's normal. How, like I know that's been happening more often now. How much, sorry, I'm trying to work and talk. How, what's the efficacy of the iron, is it called the Iron Dome, the Iron Curtain? Maybe they call it something. Y'all's obviously, defense system. Like how many actually, what's the percentage of ones that like get through? Because I know that y'all's defense system is like better than anyone's, which is insane. We have other systems to shoot down these missiles. It usually shoots them down outside of the atmosphere and shit. Wow, that's nuts, dude. And chunks of metal that come down from the big ones. We intercept all of them today. Usually it's pretty good. That's wild, dude. Because I know I've seen some in Iran, like, that the U.S. has, like, launched on them, and a lot of those get through, as far as, like, what I've seen, which is crazy and scary, especially for civilians. I don't know, dude. Yeah, but if they shoot 200 through 300 and drones, some get through, and there's nothing you can do. Yeah. That's wild, dude. That's crazy. Trump asked y'all not to do anything, though. Like, that's a slap. To me, that's a slap in the face. I'm not a very political person. Just in general, but that pisses me off. Okay, there we go. All right, now they're in here. We're in the working tree, so we should be good. What I want to do now, while we're yapping, as long as one doesn't come down specifically on my building, you're fine. Yeah, I agree. Like, none of that. Do they normally, like, is there an area they normally fire them at? Is it normally like the Gaza Strip? Or is it just anywhere in Israel? I mean, because Israel's not very big. Like, they could probably target any section or portion of Israel. Or are they mostly doing it in Gaza? I thought, excuse my ignorance, but I thought that Israel occupied Gaza right now. I'm probably way off on that. What was I doing just now? Oh yeah. They try and shoot at military bases, but if it hits, we don't actually know, as we don't share that info. And when they hit buildings in the streets, we can see. Gotcha. Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah, that's just my ignorance, dude. Jeez. Why would you go to MCP? That's weird. I don't care about MCP, dog. Oh wait. I'm regarded. Okay. We control some of it after October 7, like 50%, but it's just Rebel that we control. Okay. Is that part of the conflict? Is like y'all want some of it back? You know? Is that why this is a big issue? I mean, obviously... I don't know, dude. I think it was because of the audio. I think I turned on the wrong background noise, and I didn't attribute them in the description, and maybe it wasn't royalty free or something like that. That's the only thing I could think of, because I've been turning on a channel called Liquid Hour DB, and I think I accidentally clicked on another one that was Liquid Hour DB Collective, which is confusing to me. Maybe it's the same guy, but but yeah, it turned off like at like 3 hours in, 2.5 hours in, just randomly. I wasn't even talking, I don't think. So the only thing I can think of is that it was the music. So I haven't looked at the YouTube studio to see if there was like any information on it. Day 20. Is this 23 was yesterday? Or is it 24 was yesterday? I think the 24 was yesterday. Today's 25. 24. I don't know. It doesn't show me anything. Doesn't show me anything. I don't know. It's weird. Night, Chloric. Thanks for popping in, dog. They really hate us, and now a lot of us hate them. Lose. Dang, dude. That's crazy. All right, let's clear this. And I want to yap at it and tell me and build like the next feature or whatever. It's not the next feature. It's still a part of this. So I want to set up a new route with functionality inside of it to display the usability of this AI credit system. I want to create 3 mock API points. Well, not mock. I want to create 3 API endpoints that will be real endpoints, but type of mock functionality, to where we'll add the AI credit system inside of those function calls or those API calls and deduct credits from the account based on usage of those endpoints. In the new route UI, there should be a button to either test AI usage or fire function or some sort of language to where it's showing them how it deducts the credits from the credit system, etc. And actually, we need to be doing something else too. This is where we can do something kind of in parallel. Claude. We'll do effort, ultra code again. I want to add a new admin route that's a protected route only for users with the role of super user. This role needs to be added to the user types. This route should have nested routes depending on what we put in there, but for one of them we need to add the functionality to change how much different AI operations cost based on how expensive those AI operations are. Look at the feature spec doc for this branch and analyze what might need to be added for this to take place. All right, let's get that going. Actually, I'm gonna copy this real quick. Yeah, I'm just going to do a protected route, Tale, like you said yesterday. I don't want to spin up a whole... God, every time I say it, it makes me irk, though. I don't really want to spin up a whole new Next.js site or something similar. It could probably just be React, to be honest, not Next. But to keep it all in the same stack, I would do Next and do it on a subdomain. I think it'd be cool for the end users. Like, if I were to give this repository to... someone else, or like if I sell it in the future or whatever, it'd be like another cool thing, like for them to have their own admin portal, which is like, which is like industry standard, like enterprise level software does that. So even saying that out loud it makes me irk because I want to do it correctly the first way. Ugh, it's not even that hard either. It's just like one more thing. Do it later when I actually have customers. Yeah. Yeah, I actually think I think this could crank because it's a pretty I mean, it's going to be pretty robust. We're almost done. We're very close. But I'm thinking like for marketing and stuff, like I'm going to start building my own app on top of this, which will be helpful. I'm going to start giving away like free value online and stuff, doing like shorts, like short form content on like building SaaS or how to build SaaS. Dedicated playground? No. Wait, where should this credit demo live and how should it be framed? Where should this demo live and how should it be framed? Dedicated playground credits recommended. Standalone AI credit playground route linked from credits billing settings. Demo flavored, clearly separate, room to grow, cleanest fit with the existing UI. Add try it section to the existing credits area in the settings right next to the balance. I don't hate that. Top level credits page. New top level page combining balance plus ledger plus the 3 fire buttons together in a single credits hub. See, I like this one. Because this is gonna be features of this repository, right? Not features of, yeah. This is the hard part. Yeah, because my vision and my goal for Launch Soku is like for anyone interested to be able to log in to this and see what they would get, and like there'd be like a tiers button up here, or maybe it all lives on maybe production lives on a test account for Stripe at least, and so they're able to click through and purchase. And 6 p.m. Why would you do it at 6 p.m.? You'll be able to purchase and see the different things that their users would get if they bought this and built their own SaaS on top of it. That might be a little too robust, but I don't know. I'm thinking out loud right now. Which operations should the 3 buttons charge? Reuse the existing seed AI ops or create demo-only keys? Three dedicated demo operation seeded just for this page. Yeah. Reuse seed AI ops. Freely tunable, varied cost, slow. Wait, what? Show different deductions. All right, bro, I'm gonna go focus back on work. Good luck. Catch you later, bro. Thanks for dropping in. First time here, can I explain what my SaaS is? Yeah, dog, it's 2 things. I'm just gonna talk about the one thing that you see me build right now. Localhost 3000. It's basically a boilerplate application that's production / enterprise grade. It's very opinionated, has everything you would need to get 90% of the way to a production level working application within a couple of hours, so that when you have a SaaS idea, you don't have to work on all this stuff, the database, APIs, MCP, CLI, end-to-end tests, agentic self-healing system. You don't have to worry about all that. You download it, connect all your private keys, and so you can start building features from day one and not infrastructure. That's what I'm building right now. And then after I'm done with this, I'm building my own SaaS on top of it, but I haven't even started on that yet. Well, I actually have, but I'll be building V1 because I have V0 like a MVP setup, but I want to rebuild it on this infrastructure and I want to do it live. So yeah, that's what I'm building. Where was I? Yeah, we'll do this. Which page? What should the page demonstrate about how credits get deducted? Pick all you want. Live balance after each call, live ledger feed, insufficient credits, per call life cycle breakdown, show the reserve settled. Yeah, we'll do all this. Who can use this page given it burns real workspace credits? All signed in users, ships to everyone as legit try method. Yeah. Yeah. Submit. I need to make this landing page better. Like probably more simple with better graphics on all the stuff that it has. I mean, if people were to go to the link in the description, I think it would tell them what it does. But I guess most people don't see the link down there. I don't know. So we got two Claude sessions going right now. One for adding semi-mock endpoints to display how this credit system works. And then the second one for an admin portal to change the cost of the AI operations that are coming from a database. So in Neon, in Postgres, whatever, but I use Neon. In Neon, we have our project and we have our environments, tables. We have where are you? There's no reservations. It's just accounts. Well, we're gonna have, I thought it was already in here, but we're gonna have a table in here for AI operation cost, so we can test different costs per operation, whether it's a small, medium, large, extra large, whatever. So smaller operations can be assigned, or lightweight like AI operations can be assigned the small, you know, mid-size can be assigned the medium, which would be, you know, like 50 credits or something like that, and so on and so forth. All right. Oh, operation costs, right? Literally right here. So there's nothing in here yet. We haven't created anything. But we have operation key, the number of credits that will be deducted, enabled or disabled, the description of it, and then updated at or whatever. I totally missed this. Which will be cool. So that's what this one's doing right here. All right, how should super user identity be stored and checked? This is a centralized architecture decision. It's a brand new auth primitive. Nothing exists today. DB call and per request lookup. Add user, platform role, and Prisma. The guard web helper reads it via per request DB lookup, auditable duration, avoids touching better auth session claims, so no secret drift risk and no writable field escalation. One extra cheap query per admin request. Yeah, we'll do this. Well, actually, DB column plus better auth session field. Same column, but surface into sessions via the additional fields must be input false or... Yeah. How broad should the admin shell be designed now? You mentioned nested routes depending on what we put in there. General admin shell, one tool now recommended. Yeah. What should the operation cost editor be allowed to do? Operation keys are code coupled to charge credit decorators. Edit only on existing. Oh shoot. Edit only on existing keys. Edit plus create new keys. Wait. Edit credits enabled description on the seeded keys. No rename, no create, no delete. Eliminates orphaned decorator and seed versus DB drift risks. Disabling keys is a safe turn it off path. Delete. Edit plus create new keys. Also allow creating new operation cost rows. Useful for staging costs before route. Yeah, all of it. I want to do all of those. An audit log for cost edits. This is a billing affected knob editable by newly privileged tiers. Build a lightweight audit log now. I don't think you need this. Yeah, defer. Yeah, I don't care about that, to be honest. Okay. Do you want to approve this spec? I can flip it to approved to create the feature credits demo and start building. Let me go look at the doc, superpowers, specs. Go read through this real quick. I feel like this is a part of quote unquote vibe coding that people mess up. Is like once they'll prompt a high level plan like I just did. It's like 3 sentences of what I wanted to do. It'll ask some questions, return this big feature planning doc. And then most people, I think, would just be like, yeah, send it. Let's run it. But then it'll build it and you'll have some unexpected outcome. And you're like, no, I didn't want it that way. And you have to go back, especially when it comes to like database stuff. You have to go back and like fix database migrations, delete tables, delete columns and rows and all this stuff. And it's like, or you could just read it and be set from the rip. All right. Okay, this is a feature spec, human approved. Okay. Make the otherwise invisible AI credits meter tangible. Ship a new top-level credits page that shows the workspace's live credit balance, a feed of recent ledger activity, and 3 run buttons. Each button calls a real metered API endpoint that does quote mock AI work and deducts operations real cost from the workspace's credit account through the existing charge credits path. Perfect. context, what this builds on verified against the code base, AI credit system, which is what we have in there already, reserve, settle, release. Yeah, there's no real endpoint. It mocks them. Or they're not doing anything, it just mocks them. Well, hold on. Nothing meters real AI yet. The AI dot wildcard operation costs are seeded in credits but have no endpoints. This feature implements 3 of them with mock bodies. Okay, the credits spec explicitly defers wiring the real AI ops to when the op is built. This feature builds the routes now with mock output, leaving the real LLM call. Yeah, okay, just making sure. Okay. Just telling me that it lives on. It's branching off of this, which is great. Top level credits page, new app router, route credits page. It's a server component plus credits demo client is a client component and a sibling of dashboard. Reachable from the main sidebar. Okay. Balance card. 3 operator cards. Try the metered API. 1 per endpoint, each showing operation name. 1 line description, its cost. 10 credits, for example. Per call. Okay, one thing okay. 3 real metered API endpoint, or metered endpoints doing mock AI work. I just want to make sure that this is gonna call real operation costs and not fake ones. Firing a real deduction with a fresh idempotency key per click. I don't think I like this because this is gonna break, but maybe it won't. Or maybe I just need to create one of those API keys first. Because it's already in there. I already have the API keys in there. Need to unlock it, but whatever. Yeah. Yeah. Now, I don't know how this is going to work because we're doing two things on the same work tree, and this one's going to change branches. So locally it's going to change branches. So this approved, executing the gate setups. Admin, operation costs, and echo. Yeah. I'm going to make this bigger real quick. Credits demo, and this session start snap was stale. Let me verify this branch has operated cost dependency and understand the branch typology before I commit the stacking claim. Yeah, this is going to mess it up. Let's wait for this to finish and see what it does real quick. Yo, what up, Noah? What's good, homie? What is good, my homie? Yeah, I think I did fix my VPN issue. So I can run this project end to end locally for the most part. Unless you're talking about viewing new domains, I still can't do that. Like I still can't even look at mine. Yeah, I still can't look at mine. That's not going away. No, it doesn't. No, but locally I can get Stripe working and all that stuff. I almost, yeah, no. Oh shoot. It's the context of what you are in the context of what you are building. Oh, okay. What's the domain? It might pull up. With IP instead of domain you can access? I don't know. I don't know, to be honest. I've never tried that. I'll drop it to you on Discord. Okay, yeah. Drop a link. I hope it didn't change branches, dude. What branch is this on? Yeah, oh, yeah, it changed it. I hate that. Username. Can't find you. It's a mess. It's a miss in there. Oh, in the Discord, yeah. It's just first and last name. Just same as my YouTube channel. Yeah, username should just be that. All right, let me try and pull one of these up. They might work. I don't know. All right, this one works. Dev division, 6-role AI workflow with tamper evident audit trail. PM, architect, engineer, shipped. Self-hosted, auditable, 6 roles. I would fix the spacing between these. Or even just remove this. Or just remove this. Hash chained audit. Let's get rid of this one for now. It's doing both of these in parallel, but it's doing them on the same branch, which I don't like. I should have changed work trees first. So that's one of them. Let's try this one. Neurion security scanner. Authorize operators only. What does this one do? Oh, this is probably the dev one. Maestro. Oh, this is like a metrics dashboard. Yeah, an AI automation as cybersecurity team. That's dope, dude. That's sick. All right, what's this doing? I'm curious if this is gonna even work because it's working on two things at once, and they're somewhat adjacent. We'll see. It's for SEO and marketing stuff. Yeah. Nice. Oh, and you have like scheduled runners in here to do stuff. Ouch. Yeah, the dev division is like the dev team for sure. So it'll just launch all these agents in parallel, I assume. Or either in parallel or sequentially, depending on what you're building. That's sick. What is this? Oh, sorry. Ugh. What is this one? The Mira Aroma. Yeah, sequentially. Depending. You're doing some testing on it? Let's make sure nothing's breaking locally. I do need to, I think I'm gonna need to. No. Are you serious? Oh. I'm gonna need to do the migrations on this. Dang it. I didn't want to do that. This is what happened yesterday. It took me forever. So that works on, so like this one works on like a feature, and it'll go through these steps. Is that what you're saying? Self-hosted auditable 6 roles. I don't really want to. Yeah, I can't connect this to one of these projects because there's probably some API keys in there. That yeah, I probably won't do this on stream, but maybe I'll try it after. Attach planning artifacts. Oh, this is kind of cool. You have Maestro Studio in there. Oh wait, is this the same one that you were just talking about? Just the spine scaffolded? Yeah. MVP, right? I would suggest, dude, before any of this, like, sorry. before like going to this kind of thing, for all these tools, I would build the marketing website first, because I have, even though I'm in here and like I can kind of figure out what's going on, I really don't have any clue what this is supposed to do, which I think is the part that most people miss when building SaaS or building any tools really, is starting off with a landing page, right? With something that's like, okay, I can read this and know exactly what it does, right? So for all of those tools that you sent me in Discord, I would go back and do a marketing page, a single page marketing page for each of them. And so I can have like a good idea of what it is that you're building before I like sign in and like poke around and stuff. That would be my suggestion. Because most people probably aren't going to give you their email, like log in, especially like Google or GitHub. They're not going to log in to something they don't know what it is. They're gonna hit there, like they're gonna hit that, and unless like if you were not in chat, like, you know, talking with me right now, I probably wouldn't have logged in to that one I did. Because it's like, I don't know what this is. You know, this is like really ambiguous to me. So I would do like a marketing page for all of those. Wait, UI exports confirmed. No table. I'll hand roll and bundle. The bundled next docs aren't actually present, so I'll mirror this repo's own proven Next.js. Safest source. You did it intentionally to avoid having someone else, unless he has nothing to do. He's scared of to listen. Yeah. I mean, yeah. Next stars aren't present, so I'll mirror this repo's own proven Next.js usages and authorized reference. Last reads the UI. It's proven. Okay. I still think this is going to mess up. Because it should be getting my subscription data, but it's not, because there's a field missing, which is annoying. But we'll have to go find it. Okay, there we go. It did it. Nice. Because I was literally about to tell it, perform the database migrations that are necessary to get this working locally in the dev environment, and it just did it for me. Yo, what up, VDAT? Shoot. Wait, I actually wanted you to review the results of the agents and tell me what you think, because I'm still working on the core of this thing. And I shared something I came across today that might be useful. Yeah, I'm probably not going to do it on stream right now because I'm already... This thing is so silly. I'm working on this feature in here, and I don't really have a project. I should start a mock project that doesn't have like anything sensitive in it, like no API keys or any like app secrets or anything that I can use for testing people's like agentic apps on. Maybe I can set something like that up so that I can test these kind of things locally, which would be cool. I'm definitely down to test it, but just not on anything that I'm working on right now. Maybe after this stream, I'll set up like a dummy project so I can just like create dummy branches and like test things on those. I found my idea. Sorry, I found my idea. I found my startup idea, and it's this massively W project after the sleepless night. I remembered I had it 2 days ago. What was your idea, VDAT? Also, I feel like the biggest inspirations come from sleepless nights, dude. For sure. Yeah, I'm gonna set up like a dummy project. Maybe after stream. And then like try projects like that. Cause some people, like a lot of people come in here and ask me like test their stuff, which is fine. I'm just not going to do it on any big project that I'm working on that I don't know, doesn't have like sensitive keys and stuff. I have to have like my own sandbox. First time on stream, what are we working on? In a nutshell, it's a big boilerplate application to where anyone who like downloads it or get clones can build features and not infrastructure. It's a highly opinionated boilerplate that has like all the nuts and bolts you would need to build a production level application that can run up to 20, 30,000 daily active users. It has lots of features in between. More or less, that's what it is. And then after this is done, I'm building my own SaaS app on top of it for myself. But I'm not there yet. Probably like a week away, maybe less than a week. It covers the major issues we're having on the IDEs and vibe coded stuff. That this is completely stabilizes the AI observability memory and also optimization. Probably going to take me like 2 or 4 months to launch. Half. Start with the marketing page, VDAT. Literally the first thing you should build is starting with a marketing page that thoroughly explains what it is, and start getting people to that landing page to give you their email, so that you can know that people are interested in it. That's the first thing I would do. That's what I did. That's what I did with this, right? This is a landing page. Obviously this is localhost, but you can go to it on your own, or anyone can. Link in the description. But this tells you if people are interested in your idea or not, right? This landing page. So before you, I swear to you, dude, if you listen to anything I say, I don't care if you listen to how I build SaaS. I don't care if you listen to, anything, how I build the actual product. Start like tomorrow or today or whatever time it is for you. Start with the marketing page. One last question: how to explain what is SaaS Agentic to a dummy who doesn't even know technology? SaaS stands for software as a service. So it's anything that you do for someone else that is executed by software, by a program on a computer. Claude is a SaaS. It's doing something for me that I push a button on the computer to do. Yeah, I'm still gonna do that, but I'm just a little worried if people to know about my idea, and the market is $1 billion market, and my idea is $1 million for sure, I swear, but yes, I'll listen to you. Poor people worry about people stealing their idea. Rich people market their idea better than anyone. You think Elon Musk is scared of Blue Origin? No, he's not. He's not worried that he has competition, because he knows that he's going to build the best product. Right? I'm going to say that again. Poor people worry about someone stealing their idea and the competition doing better than them. Rich people want people to know what their product is, and so they're going to market the tits out of it. They're going to market it better than anyone else. So my personal opinion would be to not be afraid that someone's going to figure out what you're doing, because at some point they are. Even if you spend 6 months building it and it's like the best thing out there, and then someone comes along and goes behind you and does it, but they market it better than you, who's going to win? Who's going to win if you spend 6 months building it alone and no one knows about it, and then you launch it and you get 100 users because no one knows about you, and then someone's like, oh, I like that, it's a good idea, I'm going to build that same thing, but while I'm building it, I'm going to tell people about it. It was okay, nice, poor, and rich, but yeah, Elon has money and the resources to build. I'm so new, but yeah, your point. This week I'll start working on it. Yeah, but so does Bezos, right? He has infinite money. Obviously, the scales are different, and I see what you're saying. Like, you're a small fish in a big pond, and maybe like a big dog would come in and like steal your idea or something. It could happen, right? That could always happen. It's either going to happen now or later, but it's up to you to market better. I mean, someone could say that about the thing that I'm building, right? Or, someone else earlier mentioned BridgeMind. Like, someone else could say that about BridgeMind, right? He's a he was slash kind of is a nobody. I'm not saying a nobody, but it's like no one really knows him, right? Big dogs don't know him yet. And so someone could, but he's making good money now, I think. So his marketing strategy is building in public. Talking about BridgeMind. Like he doesn't do any ads. He doesn't like do any affiliate systems. So the only people that use his app are the people that watch his stream, which is great. You know, I'm not knocking him. I'm just saying he's not afraid to show what he's building. And like anyone could potentially go back and watch all of his streams and build the exact same thing he built. But people buy from people, especially indie hackers and startups and solo founders. Makes sense. I'm just a little frustrated. I got an interview today and I could use the job to boost my home. But yeah, worried I won't be having time. But I'll go through the interview, then SLC this week. SLC? What is SLC? Then marketing. Yeah, I mean, having a day job is obviously not ideal if you want to be an entrepreneur. But you have a lot of hours during the day that you're not working. You know, you work 8 hours a day. You can get up before you go to work or come back and work on it after you get back from work, right? If you think about it, if you work 8 hours a day and you sleep out 8 hours a day, ugh, and God dang it, and am I retarded? And you sleep 8 hours a day, and there's 24 hours in a day. Whoa, 42? That's crazy. What if there were 42 hours in a day? 24 hours in a day. That's still eight solid hours that you could do a lot of work with, right? You work for 8, you sleep for 8. You know, maybe you go to the gym for 2 hours. That's still 6 hours of uninterrupted work. You could do a lot of damage in 6 hours if you're really focused. You don't get on your phone, you don't play a game. 6 hours is actually a lot of time. Just think about the amount of hours that you're spending building someone else's company right here, which is great, and you're doing a lot of good work for them, and you're getting paid X amount of dollars. You know, if you spent those same amount of hours, those same 8 hours on your own thing with the right amount of, you know, leverage and stuff, your 8 hours down here that you have left over can and will replace this one at some point. It might be 6 months from now, it might be 8 months from now, it might be 12 months from now, who knows? But like the 8 hours you spend on yourself monetarily will replace this 8 hours of work you do for your employer. And so then you can delete that. And now you have 16 hours to work on your own thing, right? This is just sleep. This one right here is just sleep. So, I don't know. Between 8 hours of working for your employer plus 8 hours working, 8 hours sleeping, you still have 8 hours left during the day. That's a lot of hours to do a lot of good stuff. Yo, what's up, T-Das? What do you use for building? Do you use Claude Code? Do you use an IDE? What's everything you're using? I use Claude and Codex. Just depends on the day. Depends on my mood, to be honest. I like the output of both. I'm not vendor locked into either of them. I use VS Code for my IDE for the most part. No really fancy or special tools. The working tree mixes admin feature with pre-existing uncommitted credits demo work. How should I handle the committing? Commit credits demo first, recommended. Credits demo, I thought you were admin. Yeah, we'll do that. One thing you need to handle before separate concurrent effort. Yeah, I know. Don't worry about it. Yeah, we'll do this, I guess. Okay, one thing you need to handle. Three real metered endpoints. Also perform any database migrations that need to happen for the admin feature to work. You should use anti-gravity. It's good. Never used it. I think I downloaded it once, but I've never used it. So I've been in VS Code for 7 years, 6-7 years. So I'm kind of like vendor locked in. Know what I'm saying? As far as that goes. You know, I see people building like the tools like BridgeMind or similar and stuff like that. I just don't. Personally, that's just not how I work. And two, I want to be able to. My goal with this repository, just in general, and I've talked about this earlier on this stream and earlier on other streams, is the goal for me is to be able to code as close to production as possible without being at my computer. What does that mean? Are you using subagents? Because I see multiple windows. I use subagents within the one terminal, but those are just auto spawned. Like I don't ask it to do that. It just does it by itself. Right now I'm building 2 features at once. I usually don't do this, but they're kind of feature adjacent. And so I'm just having 2 different agents do 2 different things in parallel. No, but what I was saying is like, I like the idea of like BridgeMind and stuff like that. But I don't particularly use that type of workflow. I hardly ever code 2 features at once, ever. But what I want to do is build a repository that can do those things for me. So that looks like all I have to do is feature plan, and then write out the spec plans with, you know, AI agents or whatever. Big, long, 355, almost 500, like 500 line long spec documents. Pass it off to the coding agent. You know, I'm thinking from my phone or Claude desktop. Commit and push to a feature branch. Do CI/CD testing. Pass the errors back into the agent. Self-fix. Again, up to 3 times. until it fixes itself and I can merge a feature in with just basically one feature planning doc, and I don't have to sit at my computer. That's the goal, right? It's like, if you want to be a true vibe coder and not know what's going on in the background, I think you have to set up the infrastructure correctly the first time for what you do know is going on in the background. You can't just, and that's what I'm doing right now. It's like, I have a massive spec doc that I wrote, not by hand. A lot of it was, or some of it was done by AI. But it's like, I talked about this spec doc to my LLM for probably 4 or 5 hours. You know, it's not anything crazy, but these are all my design decisions. And then I have my agents, my agent skills, and Claude agents, same thing, that complement this repository. And so any feature I write is going to be within my guardrails and domains and all that stuff. And it's going to use the agent skills that I've created to complement this application infrastructure specifically. So I don't need a lot of fancy tools, to be honest. Like yesterday on stream, the stream cut off at the end, unfortunately. It's like YouTube took it down for some reason. I think it was like the audio. But yesterday I one-shot, besides some configuration stuff on the server side, on like Railway and stuff like that, I one-shot a very robust AI credit system, which is kind of what I'm working on now, just like the visibility and testing of it. And so we're going to see it working in real time. So it's like, everyone's like, oh, what workflow do you use? What tools do you use? What IDE? What, agentic workflow system? It's like, I don't use any of that because it's not necessary in my very, very humble opinion. And I've built lots of tools in the past for myself, for solopreneurs, for early stage startups, for enterprise level applications. And this is my workflow, And so it's like, if there's new tools come around, I'll test them out, I'll check them out, whatever. I think the most important thing with building your SaaS, building whatever software product you're working on, Claude Code, Codex, whatever, is getting your architecture right the first time, having skills that complement that architecture, having a solid planning structure of how to write new features, and having quality control gates, right? All these CI/CD pipeline stuff that I run on every single PR. And if these aren't green, your app's gonna break. And if these are red, which I mentioned earlier, this one was red, so we did something in here that broke it. But when I pushed to stage, when I opened a PR to stage, and this broke, I walked away from the computer at this point because I was done for the day. This system picked up that error and then fixed it by itself. I didn't open this commit. It did it by itself. So this fix auto was auto-generated by Claude. It did it in one attempt. It fixed it. And so now I could deploy this to stage and see all these changes, and it would be big time Gucci Mane. But I wanted to add some observability inside the app before we did this. So I could be eating my own lunch right now. I could be eating my own words here in a second because I'm working on these 2 tandem features per your request. So I might. Let's see. this is the problem that I don't like. Let's see. Yeah, so I have to do database migration stuff right now. But anyways, I could be eating my own words in about 5 to 10 minutes once all this is done. And like this one shot doesn't work, but I have very high confidence that once the database migration stuff gets taken care of, like it'll all work very flawlessly. So we'll see that here in a second though. Yeah. All the very best for your day. Good luck. Hey, thank you, brother. Brecky, he must be from Australia. VDAT. Is VDAT from? Oh no, he's like from Asia somewhere. I thought that he was gonna be from Australia because he said Brecky. The problem with like AI coding, like in streaming like this, is it's pretty boring. Because it's like I'm kind of just waiting on these two agents to finish so I can show you what I'm working on. But I don't know. I think that's the power of a good repository that knows exactly how you like to write code and has the correct workflows and systems set up to build cool software, because it kind of just all works for you. That's what I found, at least. Yeah, okay. Wasn't loaded, so I don't know which DB it hit. Work on 2 projects at once, easy. Yeah. What else to work on though? That's what I was kind of doing with like the voice thing, the whisper flow clone. What's the best besides Anthropic, DeepSeek, DeepSeek 4 point whatever Pro, Flash, Kimi, Quinn. I don't know. I've never used any of the one after Anthropic. I don't find any need to use any of those. I pay for the $100 max plan on Claude. I pay for the $20 Pro plan on Codex. And I think as a part of my Google Workspace, I get theirs, like their $20 plan for free. I say for free, but included in that. So I have $140. I have $140 in AI subscription costs, and I can pretty much build whatever without hitting limits. You never get limits? No, I genuinely don't. I don't know. Maybe I just don't work on enough. Maybe I don't work on enough projects. But I'm pretty focused in what I do, so I still have resets Wednesday, today's Sunday. Like, I won't hit these limits, and I've been crushing with Claude every day for many hours a day. So today I won't hit the limits, I don't think, even though I've been doing a bunch. So even if I did, I would just switch to Codex, and then I wouldn't hit those limits either. There's no way. I don't know. All right. I'm leaning towards deep SWE bench to be the most reliable when it comes to coding benches. So look at that on your budget. So look at that and then your budget. Oh, you're saying DeepSeek is like the best as far as like coding benchmarks? I rotate between 5 Claude Pro accounts, 1 OpenCode Go account, and it still hits limits on all of them. Yeah, I don't know what you're building, big dog, but you must be cranking. What is this? Deep SWE. Oh, interesting. This is kind of cool. Oh, this is like a unbiased. It's like an unbiased benchmark platform. What is datacurve.ai? Defining intelligence. Datacurve is pioneering research and data collection infrastructure that teach AI how to shoulder the work humanity has long endured. See our research. Send some other stuff I'm working on. Yeah, I think you gotta. I think you gotta focus, big dog. I think you gotta pick one problem and fix it until it's done. Let me push these. npm install. This is relatively new too. Let's go here. Don't switch, bro. Why? It always switches. All right. So, what branch are we on right now? Let's go one over. We're on operation, admin operation costs. Okay, so let's go to credits. Well, I might actually have to upgrade to Pro to get this because I have to do the API key. Let's just see. Let's go to credits. Generate a caption, which is 10 credits. Draft a short social caption for your latest drop ski. Run. See, I don't know. I don't know, boys. Like, people tend to overcomplicate shit. And it's like, okay, I get that it's just a couple endpoints, but like it's not complex, right? And I basically one-shot both of these. It's one big feature, but I basically one-shot the whole implementation of it. And so people, I don't know, maybe Quigago can shit on me because he's like a pro at actual, real software engineering, which I do real software engineering too. But like this whole venture is kind of like a like prove me wrong, bro kind of thing. Like everyone's like, oh, software is going away. Like software engineers are going away. I don't think we will ever go away fully. I just think it'll look different. And so obviously this is a small repository with the context that doesn't fill up, but like dude, what is this thing doing over here? But like to combat that, like context is just going to get bigger as time goes on. Obviously compute is going to go up and there's shadow effects to all that stuff, shadow costs and all that stuff. But I don't know. Not sure why it says balance twice. So that's a design flaw, but okay, this isn't updating in real time, so this needs to be a server component. Which is something to think about, actually. So it didn't get this, it did update this though, which is great. Does this have any activity to it? Doesn't look like it. So we gotta fix that. Gotta fix that, gotta fix this. But as far as like the credit system goes of deducting, adding credits to the account based on plans purchased, adding the credit deduction system to API endpoints that use quote unquote AI generated or AI functionality is all working. We have a ledger system for the different operations that were used and how much it cost. I don't know. To quote to quote that other guy, this fitness influencer guy, it's not easy, but it is simple, I feel like. What happens if I hard refresh this? I mean, this is using a real account, so it should be Gucci. Yeah, I mean, give this a little refresh. Operation cost. Right, we can create new operation costs. Oh, that's what I wanted to do. So that was the first feature. So now let's go. I do have to go admin. Is that a route? Can I go there? No, let's go. Maybe it's because let's go to apps, web, source, app, and admin. So it should have one there, but maybe at 404s, or unless it's on the wrong branch. No, it's in this branch. I'm chopped. Let's see if I can manually change users. Okay, this guy's a super admin, but I want to change this guy to a super admin. Doink. Right, because I'm Ches. Am I Ches on here? Yeah, Ches. Let's refresh this page. It's a 404. Okay, rip. I should just be able to go require super user. Maybe I need to log out. I don't think so. Profile. Yeah, let's sign out real quick and see what happens. Sign in. Can I go to admin now? Page couldn't be found. What about that? Operation costs. Shoot. Why are you not found? It's in here. What's that cool feature of sign in? It's just your standard like email code. So I use BetterAuth for authentication, and it just, yeah, this website, betterauth.com. It's very easy and seamless. I like it. Okay, why? Oh wait, is this the right? Yeah, it's free. It's open source. Did that save? Did that save or no? I can't tell. Oh wait, it's not saved. There we go. That's why, you silly goose. I think. Yeah, okay. I never saved it. I'll just type it in chat. Oh wait. BetterAuth.com, baby. All right, so operational cost. Nice. See, this is what I'm saying, dogs. Yeah. So I can now create operation costs based on whatever I think it's going to cost me for the API to do, like the AI. So I could do like add one in here and do operation key. It'd be cool if we could auto generate this based on the name. But we could do Codex .api dot, I don't know, whisper or something, I don't know, and just charge 200 credits per operation and say use this for any OpenAI whisper for any operation that uses the OAI with Whisper API. And you just charge them a flat rate, right? I mean, this is business decisions, right? This is business logic. But now I can add this operation in here, or sorry, add this operation cost in here. It adds it. I set the cost, enabled, disabled, whatever. It added it in my database. And now in the UI, and we could do this via MCP too, probably. Whenever I'll write a skill for this actually. Whenever we're writing a new API endpoint that is public facing, during our coding session, you know, whether it's in a terminal or whether it's in Claude, or whether it's in Codex or whatever, part of our workflow will be determining how much that will cost, either creating or removing, or creating a new or using an old operation cost key, and then adding that to the API endpoint. So for example, this one, we have this charge credits function, right? And we add the key in there. So any post request that goes to comments that's classify has this charge credits operation on it. And so when it goes through, it's going to deduct the credits based on that. And so this is just like, this is very repeatable. This is why I'm building this project, dude, because like I feel like this could be huge for solo founders that just don't know any of this stuff. Anyways, I feel goated right now. You know, the plan, the scaffolding for this project, the work I did beforehand, the skills, the architecture, the everything is like working, because this is like a working feature for the app that I did basically no hands-on work for, and it's very clean, it's very repeatable. Yeah. So anyways, I'm gonna go look at GitHub real quick, see where we're at. Launch Soku. There's 4 pull requests. This one can be closed, actually, because I'm gonna close this pull request because this was Codex's implementation. Yeah, you bet, big dog. That was Codex's implementation. We'll keep the branch just because I want to see it. Let's go back in here. I want to merge both of these into this one. And I think that's what it, yeah, AI credits Claude. AI credits Claude. So this is the beauty of it, dude, because it's like all these checks are green. So I'm going to go, there actually might be some conflicts when I merge one of these into here. But I guess we'll see. I'm not going to do the merging off on screen though, because we've validated that the system works as it is. This works. The actual CRUD stuff works. The credit deduction system works. In here, let me run this one just to see. Yeah, it's fire. Can I go in and look at what this does? No. Yeah, it's fire. So, all right, boys, I'm gonna sign off for the day. Mission accomplished. Tomorrow, maybe some observability stuff. And I actually might be changing, the CRM away from Go High Level, because I want this system to be able to run with mostly open source / low cost tools, because I don't want founders to have to buy this from me like in the future and then have to pay another $200 a month to run it. So the most expensive thing on the docket right now is temporal, but I may or may not even use that for the first version. So, but anyways, successful coding day. Very cool feature added in. We're gonna call it a night. I appreciate everyone for joining, hanging out, chilling, vibing with me. And with that, I'm gonna sign off. Peace.